Yo, what's up guys, it's Cross, and in this video I'm actually doing something that I don't normally do. I'm actually going to be making a Fortnite season tier list, and the reason I'm doing this is because I feel like this current season, Chapter 4 Season 2, has been one of the worst Fortnite seasons in the history of the game, and I kind of wanted to put that on a tier list to kind of compare it to a lot of the other seasons that I've played, and just kind of show you guys. And this is in honor of the new season dropping in a few days, and hopefully I have high hopes for this next season. Hopefully to bring back Siphon and have an established ranked mode where it's like an official game mode and not just pubs with the same loot as pubs. Fixed servers. There's a lot of hopes that I have for this next season, but yeah, we're here to make a tier list, so let's get right into it. Chapter 1 Season 1, I did not play, alright? I did not play Chapter 1 Season 1. Fortnite Season X, alright? So we are dealing with the mechs, the mechs that everyone either loved or hated during this time. And I believe Neo Tilted was a thing during this time. So I do remember having a lot of fun casually playing this game. Competitive-wise, I'm pretty sure it was in a pretty shitty state after World Cup. Everything just kind of got thrown in the loot pool. There was just kind of weapons everywhere. There wasn't really any competitiveness whatsoever. Just kind of, a screw around and have fun kind of season. I'm going to put this in the C tier just because I remember complaining about the mechs so much. It was pretty hard to have fun during that season. So I think it's a solid C tier. Next up, we have Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1, I believe. So this was actually during my freshman year when this came out, which is actually kind of hard to believe. It's been like 3, almost 4 years since the season came out, so that is pretty nuts. Where do I want this season? I remember having a lot of fun with the new map. Obviously, there was the inclusion of boats, brand new map to explore. I had a decent amount of fun with it. I'm going to put it at a solid B tier. I think it was just nostalgic time of playing. It was pretty fun to explore the new map. Obviously, the inclusion of fishing was a blast. I had a lot of fun that season, but I'm kind of basing this off of competitiveness for the most part. So I'm gonna put it at a solid B tier as far as competitiveness and how I did in arena and stuff like that. All right, now on to Chapter 2 Season 2 peak COVID Fortnite gameplay. I'm not gonna lie, this has to go in S tier. This is probably the most fun I've ever had on this game ever. In my opinion, this was one of the best seasons ever in the game. I absolutely loved it, and it's most likely due to COVID. I'm pretty sure it was the longest season ever for Fortnite. You can correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this season was the longest season ever. And honestly, I wish it would have gone longer because I had an absolute blast playing the season. I remember competitively, I was playing 10 to 15 hours a day, and that was, of course, due to COVID, but still just absolute blast playing this game, or the season. It was absolutely some of the best memories made during that season. Absolutely loved it. Next up, we have Season 3. This is going straight into A tier. I had a blast playing the season with the water. The water covered the whole map, if you guys remember that. There was the sharks that you could swing and catch on. There was the flare gun. The Marauders, if you guys remember the Marauders, those weren't fun. I actually hated the Marauders. But they did a really good job with designing Season 3 as a map. I remember having a blast because there was like little floating docks, and then I'm pretty sure the season drained, like the water drained as the season went on, and it was just absolute blast. Again, it was still during COVID time. I had a lot of fun playing competitively. I was playing a lot of scrims during that time. The charged shotgun was during that time, so absolute blast. That's a solid A tier for sure. And the same honestly goes for Stark season. You could even possibly put this into S tier with Stark season. I'm gonna put it above Season 3 because I had a lot more fun with the Stark season. Obviously, the inclusion of Stark Industries. They had the pump shotgun during that time. Those Marvel mythics. I had an absolute blast playing that season. Great times, great times. And yeah, overall, it was a solid battle pass too. I love the Marvel theme, and I feel like it's kind of getting old now because they're literally collabing with every single company out there, but the Marvel theme was on par. It was a really good season. I did enjoy it. On to Chapter 2, Season 5. So this is where it became desert. So we went to water, then we went to, like, the Stark Industries, kind of like fall, and now I'm pretty sure this was a winter season. I'm pretty sure. Winter into spring season. So, if I remember correctly, I'm going to end up putting this at... I'm going to put it at B tier, because this was when the lever shotgun was out, and I believe it was the lever shotgun and the charge shotgun. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe it was the lever and charge. But I actually love the lever, and in my opinion, the lever shotgun is the most balanced shotgun that's ever been in the game. Had an absolute blast using that, and I think this is when, this season, Season 5, is when I started taking competitive Fortnite really serious, and I was just grinding nonstop during this season. I had a lot of fun, and it was a solid season. I think a B tier is just right for that. Just right for that. I did not play during Chapter 1, Season 2, so we'll go in the didn't play. What is this? This is Chapter 2, Season 6, I believe. Primal. We got our first F, people. First F. This... surprisingly, a lot of people actually loved the Primal season. I absolutely despised it. I think it was a dog crap season. It was horrible. The weapons, I didn't like how you had to craft a pump shotgun. You had to, remember, you had to get those, like, parts. You had to land at, like, the metal, and then you had to break the metal to get a bunch of parts to turn it into a pump. I hated that. The skins were very mid. The POIs were very mid, and it was honestly a pretty forgettable season, and I remember I had the least amount of arena points that I've ever gotten in that season, because I just barely grinded. So yeah, I think F tier is perfect for that. Next up, the season where I got my Fortnite start on my iPhone 7. I started grinding Fortnite Mobile on my iPhone 7 with a cracked screen during Chapter 1, Season 3. I think this just has to go in A tier, and I'm actually putting it behind Season 3 because I was fairly new to the game, and I am blinded a little bit by nostalgia, but if I do remember correctly, it was a very, very good season, and I think it was really fun with the OG map and everything, so good times there. I think an A is respectable for that. Next, we have one of the best seasons ever created, Chapter 1, Season 4. This is, wow. It's pretty tough to see where to put this. I don't know if it deserves an S. I'm going to put this at the highest A possible because this season was incredible to play. I mean, I was freaking out during this time when they had the kind of superhero theme, Omega versus, I forget what his name is, but the Omega skin. I was grinding for the Omega skin. Still didn't get the lights, but it's all good. That was a really fun, really fun season. I think it's the top of the A. It's just barely under S tier because S tier belongs to Chapter 1, Season 5. During this season, this was the peak summer Fortnite vibes. I remember, riding on those golf carts. They introduced Lazy Links. They introduced golfing to the game. It was absolutely an absolute blast. I had so much fun playing this season. Made a lot of friends playing in this season, a lot of which I still play with to this day. And yeah, I just remember having fun. There wasn't any competitiveness. It was just having fun and playing around with the game and everything like that. It was just pure fun, and I really enjoyed that season. That was definitely a great season for me. On to Chapter 1, Season 6. So this is our Halloween season, all right? And I remember it being good, but I don't remember it being that good. There was the floating Kevin the Cube, I believe. That was pretty cool. I'm going to put this, honestly, right in the middle. I think it was a little bit better than Chapter 2, Season 5. Just a little bit. And again, that could be nostalgia talking, but it was still a really good season. I liked the map changes with the floating Kevin the Cube and everything like that. That was pretty fun. So I think right in the middle of B tier is perfect. On to Season 7. This has to be another S tier. Chapter 1, Season 7, winter, peak winter vibes. It was just they nailed it with this season, man. They had frosty flights. They added the planes. They added the block. I'm pretty sure they added the block during that time. The mat was covered in snow. Happy Hamlet. They had the winter music, whatever that winter lobby music was. I mean, easily one of the best winters I've ever experienced, or Christmases I've ever experienced, was playing that season. That is definitely deserving of an S tier. I'm gonna bump it in front of Season 5 just a little bit, but in my opinion, Season 2 is still king against it. But yeah, Season 7, absolute, so fun. Nothing can beat that. That is a great season. Next up, we have Chapter 1, Season 8. So this is the pirate theme. I wasn't crazy about this season. I'm actually... Let's see. I'm going to put this high C. I'm going to put this a high C theme. Yes, it was cool. They added the volcano. They added the cannons that you could fly around on. They added Lazy Lagoon. I wasn't a fan of the Lazy Lagoon change. Not a fan at all. And a lot of it was pretty forgettable. So I think a high C is deserving of that. It was just kind of okay. I didn't really grind as much during that time. And the same honestly goes for Fortnite. I think this was called like Fortnite Neo or something, where you had to collect those like Neo chips or those puzzle pieces. That was, or Fort Bites. They were called the Fort Bites. That was pretty interesting. That was an interesting time. So I remember having a decent amount of fun, not crazy about it. I'm going to put it right behind Season 8. I think Season 8 was a little better. So yeah, I think that right in the middle of C tier is perfect for Season 9. Now on to, I believe this is, Chapter 2, Season 7. Surprisingly, very surprisingly, I'm going to put this at a low A tier. I had a blast playing this season. I got the most arena points I've ever gotten during this season because I grinded so much. I believe the pump shotgun was in the game during this time, and when it came back, I was like freaking out, so excited that it came back. And I think they had the late game arena mode, and I was just grinding that nonstop. So it was just a grind season for me. At one point, I had like 30,000 arena points, just grinding nonstop. So that was a fun ass season. I really enjoyed Chapter 2, Season 7. That was a good season. All right, boys. So I just went and checked, and this is actually Chapter 2, Season 8. This is the last, I believe this is the last season of Chapter 2. And this is the cubed season. I'm sorry, but this is going to have to go F. I honestly forgot. I legit forgot what the season even was. I think this was just a boring season overall. This is just going in F tier. I remember there was like the Cube Queen event at the end, which brought us to Chapter 3, the Chapter 3 map. And the Chapter 3 map was kind of an L. So yeah, that was definitely kind of a miss on Fortnite's part. I don't think that was a good season at all. So yeah. Now we're on to Chapter 3, Season 1, I believe. And this one had the inclusion of those Spider-Man gloves, the Spider-Man gloves that you could fly around and thwip around on. This is tough. I'm going to say it's a little better than Season X, but I'm going to say it's a C tier. I think it was just kind of a mediocre season. In my mind, I didn't really grind that much. That's probably why I'm putting this here. Again, all these decisions are my opinion personally. You guys can have completely different opinions. Make sure to drop those in the comments below. But in my opinion, Chapter 3, Season 1 was a little bit of a miss on Fortnite's end. So I'm just going to put it towards the back of C tier. And now we have Fortnite Resistance. I think this was Chapter 3, Season 2. Yeah, this is Chapter 3, Season 2. Again, this is probably back of C tier. I think they missed yet again. That was a pretty bad season. I think they had, I believe it was the Rave Cave. I could be wrong. I could be wrong with the Rave Cave. But there was those tank things that you could drive around on. There was legit tanks in the game. So I wasn't really a fan of that. And I'm pretty sure like there was like crazy stuff going on around that time. So I don't know. That was just not a good season for me. Didn't really enjoy that. And I remember wanting the next season to come fast. And that next season ended up being Fortnite Vibin'. Fortnite Vibin' was actually pretty fun. I like the inclusion of, like, they had a bunch of mushrooms. It was actually more of a memorable season. I'm going to put this towards the back of B tier. I actually liked it a decent amount. I grinded it a decent amount. I took competitive very seriously. I landed at those, like, there was like a little barn towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map with a bunch of, like, mushrooms and stuff. And I actually, you know, I focused on my drop spots and stuff like that. I was grinding competitive a decent amount during that time, but overall, I think it was a little bit of a miss with the loot pool. So not really fun there. It was just okay. Next up, we have Paradise, and this was Chapter 3, Season 4. Paradise, I'm going to put at... Do I put it at F or back of C? I'm gonna put it at F. I remember hating the season with the goo, and there was like those, you could turn into goo and move around. I remember absolutely hating that season. I think it was a pretty dog crap season. Didn't really enjoy it that much. Didn't post on my YouTube that often because it was just an overall bad, poor decision season. So I think overall, Chapter 3, the reason they cut it so early was because they were just having miss after miss. Their best season was Fortnite Vibin', which was Season 3. But Chapter 3 overall, good thing they decided to move on to Chapter 4, because holy, they missed big time during that. Chapter 4, Season 1. Last chapter. Or last season, I should say. Last season, did I enjoy it? I remember enjoying it a decent amount. I grinded Arena. It was a cool map to explore. Did I think it was anything insane? No. I'm honestly going to put it at... I'll put it right behind Chapter 3, Season 1. I'll put it right behind Chapter 3, Season 1. Because I think Chapter 4, Season 1, it was cool with the new map and everything. But overall, it got pretty boring pretty quick. And I remember I didn't even explore the entire map because the map was just honestly kind of boring. It didn't really, you know, attract me in any way. And it was just kind of mid. So I think it's the middle of C tier is probably the perfect spot for that. And then this season, in my opinion, is the worst season we've ever had. I'm putting this right there at the back of F tier. I think this was the worst season Fortnite's ever had. Some people absolutely loved the season with the inclusion of Mega City, the katanas, ODM gear. I think those were cool inclusions. Some of my biggest gripes about this season were that they decided to completely remove Arena towards the latter half of the season. They put in an unfinished ranked mode, which just kind of made the game very, very boring. You wanted to grind day one, and then after that, you're waiting in hour-long queues, and it's the same loot pool. Then they decided to take out Siphon, and this is the first time ever in Fortnite's history where I just do not feel like playing the game. Like, I would rather play any other game at night than play Fortnite. It is just very hard to play. Towards the beginning of the season, it was pretty cool. There was a lot of map changes. The katana, in my opinion, was one of the best mobility devices they've added into the game. ODM gear was also pretty fun. I think it's a little broken, to be honest. I feel like there should be a cooldown after you like crash into somebody and use it before you pull out your gun. And onto the weapons, I really dislike the weapons with the Maven shotgun, which is basically just a crappier tack, and the Havoc pump shotgun, which is just complete dog crap. I absolutely hated it. I think it was a really bad decision for them to add that gun in. They tried 2 new weapons. I think they both failed. I think they should just go back to hopefully the pump shotgun and the lever shotgun. I think a pump lever meta would be absolutely amazing. I really want that. I'm praying next season that they bring some new mobility items or bring back launch pads. Bring back Siphon, please. Please, please bring back Siphon. There's no competitive state without Siphon. If you eliminate a very good opponent and they got you super low, you're going to die to the next third party tracking you down. You know, you need that little bit of Siphon. 50 Siphon is perfect to kind of get you back in that fight and, like, make sure there's another fight happening with the third party, and so that the third party just doesn't kill you right away. So yeah, I have a lot of high hopes for next season. I'm really excited to hopefully have a perfected ranked game mode and we'll see what Epic Games does. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of new form of content. It's just kind of me talking for around 20 plus minutes, so if you got bored of my voice, you can click off now. But these are pretty fun to make. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see another type of tier list. I could do different kinds of tier lists for Fortnite, so let me know down below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.